So you'll have to be kind to me. This is my first crack at having a go at this, but I'm doing this both as a practice attempt to help myself and also from the idea of being able to use it to improve my own writing and my own test writing, as well as a tool that clients can look at using. So here we have Smudge. He's doing his first dressage test. It was a good halt. He came in, he halted square. You can see he was a little bit iffy in the contact to start off with, but he came through and he softened. It was a good turn at the end of the arena. I'd made sure that I had wrapped him around my inside leg and got him bending soft and supple. He's a little bit iffy in the contact here, but it's about keeping my hands wide and even and waiting for him to come soft and through and into it. Because the more that we fiddle with our hands, the more the horse is going to fiddle with our head. And so it's about practicing being able to ask them the aids that we've trained at home rather than panicking and going, oh shit, the horse isn't round, and trying to manufacture it. We're preparing, so we sit, and he asked for the canter, he came up a little bit, but he went nice and forwards into the transition. Now you can see the big truck coming up the hill. I saw this as I was coming around the corner here, so I made sure that I had him around my inside leg and into the contact, because I knew that when it went bang bang down the hill here, we'd kind of go hooting across the arena a little bit. In his credit, he is still a young green horse. The biggest thing to keep in mind here is that that's only 2 movements of the dressage test, and possibly will account into the next movement. Preparing in the corner there, sitting trot, so that we can get our walk. What I noticed when I looked back at this dressage test video after I'd ridden it was that I think that I'm just pushing him a tiny little bit out of his walk rhythm. So he's got a nice active walk. He's taking the contact down and through. But I just have to watch that I'm not pushing him too fast out of his rhythm. So here he could stretch down a little bit more, offer a bit more contact, but he's also keeping his nice active walk as he's going over. Taking up the reins, having him off my right leg, going deep into the corner, and preparing for my transition at A for trot. So the preparation started way back in that corner there to get a nice transition on the marker. Here we're trotting him up the long side. You can see he's a little bit iffy in the contact again, so I'm keeping my hands wide, keeping an even contact for him to go up into, and putting my leg on, pushing him forwards to the rein. We're riding our 20-meter circles, which can seem very basic. These are easy movements to get an extra mark from just by making sure that you're riding accurately. You're bending the horse off your inside leg and you're keeping that connection. Preparing at C to get my canter transition. It's a good transition, he just popped up a little bit more. Probably have a little bit more push in the canter. Just sitting him up on his hind quarters, bringing his hind quarters underneath him a bit more and coming up through the wither. He does have a little bit of a drift to the inside, as you can see here. Comes off the track a little bit, so I've just got to be keeping in mind that I'm pushing him off my right leg, moving his whole body back over to the track. We're riding a half, riding the turn down the centre line, so making sure that we're looking up where we're wanting to go towards the centre line is our destination that we're riding towards, as well as keeping the outside rein to bring the horse's shoulder round. He was a little bit iffy into the contact in that halt transition, and because I was using this as a training principle, I pushed him back up to the contact. It did mean we stepped forward, but we got a squarer halt and he finished in the contact a bit better. What I'm happy with this test is that in comparison to where we have been previously, he was maintaining a much more steadier contact. He was moving forward, he was staying off my inside leg, and we had a good rhythm the whole way around the test. Going forwards, the work on points are definitely our halts. Practicing those at home off the centre line of the arena so that you don't have the wall. The hardest part that I find when I'm riding these transitions, especially the halts in the centre line, is the horses feel like they want to go left and they want to go right and they want to bulge through the rein. So this is definitely something that I need to take home as homework to practice and perfect. Bending wise, he was lovely, soft and supple around my inside leg. I was really happy with the bend that I had in this test. And our rhythm, rider position wise, I've noticed that when I was competing him over at the Morrinsville one a couple of last month and then Mahoney the week afterwards, that I was tilting forwards a little bit with my body and that he was pulling me down. Transitions, especially the halts in the centre line, as the horses feel like they want to go left and they want to go right and they want to bulge through the rein. So this is definitely something that I need to take home as homework to practice and perfect. Bending wise, he was lovely, soft and supple around my inside leg. I was really happy with the bend that I had in this test. And our rhythm, rider position wise, I've noticed that when I was competing him over at the Morrinsville one a couple of last month and then Mahoney the week afterwards, that I was tilting forwards a little bit with my body and that he was pulling me down. In this test, I was thinking about sitting up, keeping my hands up in front of me and drawing myself up and tall, and there's definitely a difference that I noticed there in comparison. So having done this, there's actually not a lot of time to talk as you're riding through those movements, but it's definitely something that I will keep on going for with my tests in the future.